Take three.
Hello, everybody. This is Jim, and that is Warren. You're watching Vendor Corner. This is show number 18. I take a three, we think. Yeah, take three. There might be four. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Vendor Corner. It is a show about being a booth owner or a vendor at a store like Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot to learn the insights, the ins and outs, and how to be successful at this game. Yep. So like I said, I'm Jim, that's Warren. We're both vendors here at Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. Been in the game for a while, and I'm also the owner of Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. So the format of our show is really simple. We just introduce ourselves, tell you what the show's about, and we go on to today's topics. Okay, today's first topic might be our only topic, I'm not sure, is that the question was put out there that there's a lot of strife, or the comment was put out there that there's a lot of strife, backstabbing, pettiness, childness in our industry. And I found that very, very, very,
Is it true?
is that true? We don't have a lot of it here, and I don't think from the comments that were said that it's an industry-wide problem. I believe it's there. I believe there's some of it. I'm sure we have a little bit here that I don't know about here at Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot, but I don't think it's widespread. I don't think it's a bad thing that's out there and every store has it or whatever. I'm sure to some degree everybody has a little bit of it, but here at Decades we don't have any of it. The only thing I can think of in the way of strife, from past or present, is the booth sharing. That seems to have never worked out here at Decades. We've had several along the years. They've always split and gotten their own. The only ones that seem to do okay are the twins. We have two twins that share a booth, and they've done okay. And then we have another set that's been okay, but they've almost broke up a couple times, haven't broke up. I don't know. We don't get into all that. Maybe that's why I don't know about it, because I don't deal with it too much.
It's a difference of opinion, how you approach things.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Yep. Okay. I think our only other issue will be with the rules, and I'm not sure that is childness or what people are talking about, though. But the only other issue we have here at Decades is with the rules, and that's between basically me and the vendors. Even there, we draw the line in the sand. We say enough's enough. You got to follow the rule. If you don't follow the rule, this is going to happen. And as soon as we do that, everybody just starts following the rules. They quit complaining about it, and they just do it. So, like the parking in the parking lot. Now, we have a very small parking lot, so we didn't allow it on Saturdays. And people kept parking. They kept saying, I'm only going to be here for a minute, and then we would have customers that had no place to park and would leave. And so we finally said, that's it. You can't do it. We put it in the contract. You can't park on property on Saturdays. And that pretty much just kind of shut the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of also being late to make your payment. You know what I mean? We would drag it out. People would have months that they owed, and we finally said, okay, you get 10 days or 15 days to make your payment. I think it's 15 days to make your payment. If you don't make your payment, it costs you 25 extra bucks. And we did that. The first month we got a couple 25, little payments made. Somebody had a couple people, and then that was it. And now people come in. They'll come in on the 14th. Oh, I got to pay. And you're like, yep, you do. So, here that was it. Just following the rules, put the line in the sand, and say, if you cross this is going to happen. And that pretty much worked it out. Yeah. And just the last thing I want to say about that, rules are present, and they're there, and they're always discussed prior to you stepping into a shop, or they should be. We have a contract. We have a contract that is laminated, and we go over it. We highlight the things like parking on property on Saturdays. So we go over it. So there's no reason to say, well, I didn't know, or I didn't read it or anything like that, because it's your responsibility. The rules are the rules. So when you push back, just remember that in the beginning you were told those rules or whatever.
I think some of the things are the definition of what's vintage and what's not vintage. That's always seemed to have come up.
Yeah, but then we
Yeah,
go over it and we
and
tell
then-
them, you know, but when
Yeah.
they continuously do the same things they've been told, you know, that's ridiculous.
Right.
It is utterly ridiculous. These are adults that are in here. These aren't children. So if you're told you can't have something and you turn around and you bring it in anyways, you know, it gets pulled from your booth, winds up in a basket. If you don't get it after a month, it winds up going down the road to Goodwill or whatever. You know, there's no debating it. So it's a rule. So yes, it's not. There's no way it could be outlined 110% where you have these are the things you can't sell. You know, I mean, I get it. Everybody's going to find something that we don't want in the shop, and they're going to bring it in the shop. But then when they're told that that doesn't fit, that, you know, that's not really vintage or that's not really what we want here at Decades Reclaim, and they turn around and do it, I've got no sympathy for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It goes in the basket. If you don't get it, it goes down the road to charity. So, there's not room for debating the rules. So that's what I'm trying to say. So overall, we have a really good group. Now we're sitting here telling all these people that we have an awful group. We have a great group here at Decades Reclaim. We have a very, very strong management team, and they handle most of that. I get very little grief or flack or whatever you want to say. So we don't have most of the vendors have been here for a while, so we don't have a lot of bitching about anything. So. All right, so let's see. Not sure it's that way in most places, but I hope it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Topic number 2.
Oh, we have two topics.
Yeah, we have 2 topics
Okay.
today. When you're new, friends want you to sell their stuff. This is so true.
Yeah.
This
they
is
do.
so true. Be honest on expectations of what's going to happen. So if they give you something and it doesn't fit, you know, I can't sell that in my mall. They wouldn't allow that. Let's use digital cameras for example. They are not vintage. We don't allow them to be sold here. So if somebody gives you a digital camera, can you sell the shop? No, I can't. That's more of a flea market or yard sale item. You'll be on your own. Or if they give you something like cut crystal.
Okay.
Lead crystal. Yeah, we know about that. It doesn't sell very well. You got to be honest with them, given the expectations. I don't mind putting it out there, but I've got to price it lower to get it to move, and it may not sell. So let's give it. You got to give them, some sort of time frame. Let's give it a 2-month
Right.
shot at this. So I love this vase. It's a very nice vase. I'm going to give it 2 months. We're going to price it at this. If they say to you, well, it's worth, let's just say it's your vase, and I tell you, Warren, I'm going to price it at 60, and you go, well, no way. It's worth 60, Jim. Well, there you go. There's already an issue there. I've given my expectations. You're telling me something different. I would just say, well, better off you handle it on your own.
Right.
You sell it. You got to be honest with them. That's the bottom line. Otherwise, you get stuck with a booth full of stuff that doesn't belong to you. And did you discuss a cut on the whole thing?
That's true,
Even if
yeah,
you're going to
yeah.
put it in there. You have to pay the rent. They're not paying the rent. You're going to have your fees taken out, or you're going to, put that in the equation. So if you sell a $10 item and you lose 20%, then you got 8. You're going to give them half, and so that's $4. Well, now there's that vase that they wanted. They thought it was worth 10. They're only getting 4.
Yeah.
You got to put it all out there. You got to have it all above board. But if they're going to give it to you for free, that's a different story. And some people just want to help out. Other people look for you as being an avenue to sell their stuff, and some people are like, "Oh, you're doing that here. You want this," and that's a good thing. That's not a bad thing,
Right.
but it is. It's a tough thing. So if you're not honest to begin with, it's just going to cost you money in the end. When if you don't tell them a time frame and you're like, hey, I've had this in my booth for a little while, the $60 vase, I've had it in my booth for a while, it hasn't sold, I'm going to give it back to you. Oh, well, let's give it some more time, you would say, and I could probably do 50 on it. And then now because you've did it before, you've kind of going to do it again unless you put your feet down then and you say to them, okay, I'll give it 1 more month at $50, but after that, I'm done with that.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
And you gotta, be honest to begin with.
And I've had several people come to me in my park
Oh,
asking
yeah.
me, but they seem for the most part, they understand when you explain it to them that way.
But you got to explain
Oh,
it to
yeah,
them. You
for
got to
sure.
explain it to them in time. You got to
Right.
explain it to them in dollar, and that's usually what catches them when you tell them their value of the vase was $60, but your value or what you think you can sell it for is 30 because you got to get it gone because it's not an item that sells readily, and you got to have a good price on it. And now, even at $30, they're not going to get the full 30 because the percentage comes out. And then, are you going to take a higher percentage of them? Are you going to make it even? What are you going to do? And at the end of the day, hey, you're the one that has to tag it, put it out, move it around, pay the rent, get responsible for getting the money if it sells, dividing it up, and giving it back to them. They haven't done anything.
Right. No, you're right.
They handed you the item.
Right.
So be careful there. Be careful there. Definitely be careful there. And hey, we've got topic 3.
Ooh,
Yes.
holy.
Here
moly.
we go. What do you think about Christmas or holiday year round? Christmas or holiday year round? Most people like the idea of it. I think you would be hard pressed to have like a Christmas booth. I know there's places. We used to have one in Brooksville, Florida, that it's called the Christmas House, I think, and it was year round Christmas, and it was more of a go and look. You know what I mean? An attraction. I mean, you could buy anything there, but it was more of an attraction. People went and they looked, and they probably bought a lot of smalls, and that's how they stayed in business. But I clear a booth every year for Christmas. I do an entire booth, but I don't think I could hold that booth year round and make what is necessary to pay the rent. I don't think that. I like the idea of having a dedicated area for holidays, and then, as the seasons change and the holidays change, you just take that area. 4th of July is getting ready to come up, or
Memorial.
yeah, Memorial Day, 4th of July. Yeah, well, I don't
Maybe
know.
we're past Memorial.
We might be past Memorial Day, so we might be past 4th of July, and we are past 4th of July. So, if it had been 4th of July and you had an area, we have Labor Day coming up, you could do that. We have fall will be here before you know it, and then Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas will be there. I put my Christmas out rather early. I think I did it in September last year. I plan on doing it at the end of August this year. I
Holy
want to get it
moly.
out. So, yeah. So I think it's a good idea for some places. I think if you're in a giant mall and it's just a small vendor, I think they might do okay. But dedicating a whole booth space to it, unless there's a ton of vendors and you have some really, really cool holiday stuff, I don't know. But I like the idea of having a space, an area in your booth. And the Twins do that a lot. The Twins are really good. They have a little shelf that they will change it. They will go through every holiday. They did Easter. Before Easter, they did Strawberry Festival
Oh, that's
of
right.
strawberries,
That's right.
because Strawberry Festival is big in our area. And so they did the strawberries. They did the Easter. It's nothing right now, but it'll be 4th of July. Before you know it, this show is after 4th of July, but we're shooting it before 4th of July. But anyways, they'll change it with the seasons and with the holidays. Not always does it have a holiday in it, but most of the time it does. It's an area, and they do really well doing it that way. And when it's done, when Easter was over, they packed it up and saved it for next year. So
You
yeah.
can do a spattering of Christmas. I see some things that are here that's here and there. People have it in their
some
booths,
people
but
have.
yeah.
I think most of all they left it.
Yeah.
Don't you
You
agree?
think so? Well,
Yeah, they left
me
it. I don't
too.
think they brought in
Too-
Christmas now. I think it's left over and they just didn't want to move it out.
I think.
So that's it. So that's it for our show tonight. We really appreciate you guys watching this. It's been it's a longer show than normal, and we really, 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 if you've watched it till the end, you guys are
Thank you.
outstanding. We thank you so very much. If you're ever in Central Florida, in Lakeland, Florida, stop by and say hello. Maybe we'll shoot a video of you, give you a quick interview, and then throw you on Vendor Corner. There you go.
Wow.
You can check out our other show, which is Talking Vintage. It is more about what's happening in decades, and it is here on YouTube. So you can check that out. You can see his jokes. They're awesomely funny. They're on our shorts. part of our YouTube page here. Yeah, so yeah, so don't forget Vendor Corner. If you're going to want, Vendor Corner is the place if you're a booth or a vendor at a mall. That's the place to get more insight than on Talking Vintages. But Talking Vintages is a shorter show, and it's quick, and we might give an insight here and there and that.
Hopefully,
So
yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
So please, if you haven't done so already, like this video and subscribe to our channel, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Every other Sunday night at 8 p.m. We do Vendor Corner.
That's right.
So
We're there.
Once again, I'm Jim. That's Warren, and we thank you for watching. Say goodbye, Warren.
Say goodbye, Jim.